Joe Joyce has called out Bryant Jennings on Twitter. Originally, Jennings was supposed to fight Joseph Parker, but obviously Parker's gone and signed to fight Dylan White, so that's not happening. So that leaves Jennings without an opponent for this summer. In steps Joe Joyce. He's interested. He wants to make the fight happen. I have to big up Joe Joyce for being so proactive in his career. Obviously, he had a lot of amateur experience and he was in the World Series of Boxing and all that kind of stuff. So he's not like your average 4-0 or 5-0 heavyweight prospect. He has a lot more experience and maturity than that. But still, I have to big him up because he's calling out everybody and anyone and everyone trying to get fights. So in this instance, calling out Bryant Jennings, if that fight was to happen, I think it would be a very, very interesting fight. And I favor Joe Joyce against Bryant Jennings, but Jennings has been improving, and it wouldn't shock me if Jennings was able to win. Let's say it was a 10-rounder, 12-rounder, whatever. It wouldn't shock me if Jennings was able to win, but I would slightly favor Joe Joyce in that fight. And it's a good person to be calling out. Let's see whether it can happen. In terms of the promotion of Joe Joyce, David Haye was doing a good job around the time that he wanted Joe Joyce to fight Derek Chisora. They were everywhere, Joyce and Haye together, and they were just chasing down Chisora and putting pressure on him to have this fight. But since then, you don't really see David Haye with Joe Joyce that often in public at these fights and stuff like that. And as far as I'm aware, you don't really see Joe Joyce on television. So he's left to his own devices to try and promote himself on Twitter. To be fair though, Haymaker are keeping him busy because he's fighting this Friday. But, having to call out people all the time is kind of like what some other fighters do who don't have a big promotional machine behind them. Has Joe Joyce made the right choice promotionally, signing with David Haye? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure, because when you're with a small promoter, you get to be the main focus of the promoter, right? Because at the moment, the only person on the Haymaker roster of any significance is Joe Joyce. So he's a big fish in a very small pond, basically. Whereas if he was with Eddie Hearn or Frank Warren, there are many other heavyweights that, those promoters have got. So would he get the attention that he needs? Would he stand out as much? And also, if he was with Eddie Hearn or with Frank Warren, he wouldn't be fighting on Channel 5, on terrestrial television. Channel 5 and Dave are the networks that he fights on. So I guess there's pluses and minuses to either side, but I do wonder what David Haye is doing now with regards to his promotional company, how hands-on he is, and whether we're going to see him make a big push with Joe Joyce again. Because David Haye is still a well-known figure in Britain, so it would be good to see him use his fame to continually push Joe Joyce. It would be good to see that. So we'll see what happens, but if the Bryant Jennings fight somehow comes off, then I'll be edging towards Joe Joyce winning that fight. And he's moving at quite a clip in terms of trying to progress his career. He just fought Leroy Thomas, and again, I have to say, Haymaker are doing a pretty good job in terms of securing him the opponents. Because fighting Leroy Thomas like that so quickly, that was a good matchup for him. So he's having a defense of his Commonwealth title this Friday. And then after that, if he can get Jennings or some big name, that's definitely big news for Joe Joyce. So let me know what you feel about this in the comment section below, people. Who do you have winning that fight? Who do you think Joe Joyce should fight next if he can't get Bryant Jennings? Who do you think he should pursue? Let me know what you think. It's happening. I'm out.